listening to the Deep Purple Podcast, a fan podcast about one of the most legendary bands of all time, Deep Purple. We take a look at the music, history, and people behind the band Deep Purple and beyond. Welcome to the Deep Purple Podcast, the first and only podcast devoted to one of the greatest bands in rock history, Deep Purple. Today's episode is episode number 292, Barbi Benton, Ain't That Just the Way? And coming to you from the suburbs of Chicago, where we have a fire weather warning, I'm your host, Nathan Beaudry.
And coming to you from the suburbs of Providence, I'm your co-host, John the Cowboy Matola.
Oh, and coming to you from West Hartford, I am Mark Noah Webster Roback.
And coming to you from the town where the last witch was burned in the great state of Connecticut. Don't do it today or tomorrow because we have fire warnings here also. I'm Peter Gardo.
Yeah, you don't want those witch fires to get out of control. All right,
welcome back, Mark and Pete.
Yeah, welcome back, the hosts of the 70s Weekly Podcast, Mark and Pete, and our good friends and patrons. Our spin-off show. We're all together for a very special episode. Yeah, so just, I guess, first order of business, John, Cowboy, I'm guessing Oklahoma. It's going to be Oklahoma.
Hey-o.
Hey, I got it.
Hey, you got it. The National Cowboy Hall of Fame is located in Oklahoma City.
What kind of stats are involved? Like, how do you get in there?
I don't know. You have to rope a steer.
There you go.
Probably.
I did try that. There's like a little fall festival that we took the kids to the last couple of years, and you fire apple cannons and stuff like that. They do have a thing where you sit on a horse, well, like a fake horse, and there's like a fake bull with the horns, and you have a rope. Not very easy. It took me about maybe 30 minutes, and I poorly roped once. So, it's tough.
Does that Hall of Fame have like the same controversies as all Hall of Fames? Like, I can't believe Hopalong Cassidy didn't get in again.
Probably.
Don't you know that guy was betting on the rodeos? He's out.
Yeah.
They shouldn't even call it the Cowboy Hall of Fame. They let anybody in. Eddie Trunk is very passionate about this.
Yeah, that guy was a rodeo clown. What are they going to let anybody in?
Oh
my goodness.
I've been screaming about it the loudest.
Yeah, so I got the alert on my phone, fire weather warning, which is, there's never fires here, so I don't know what I guess if I light some there, but it's not even that dry. I don't know what the problem is, but
yeah, we're getting that too. I got it.
Really? Maybe they're just something they're
couple
trying
of days.
out.
It's wicked dry here. We haven't had rain since I think the 7th of September here.
Wow.
So
we haven't had rain. We have barely had any rain too, so I guess, but it just doesn't feel that dry out. It doesn't feel like a fire would take hold. But then again, we're in the Chicago area. We got to be mindful.
Isn't there like a team out there named the Chicago Fire?
Yeah.
Didn't Chicago burn down? The song, The Night Chicago? Well, it died and then it burned.
Mrs. O'Leary's cow, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Over the lantern and
a tall tale anyway.
Yeah.
But hey, folks, we're at you. We're back at you with what we call the quadfecta. When we are on their podcast, we've been known as the quadfecta, a word we all learned together. We're here together to get into this topic because it just seemed like it would be a kind of a fun one to do. Before we move on, got to say a few ways to support our show. Our show is 100% listener supported and ad free. So if you receive some value for our show, please consider giving us some value back. You can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That's a free way to support the show. You can buy some merch at our Etsy store, including these hats. I should have it. I'm always reaching for these hats, but they're beautiful embroidered Deep Purple Podcast hat. They came out really nice, and we got some purple ones on the way too. Yeah, my son just stole one of them, so we're down a little bit in inventory. So,
Are those like the Mark II design of the hat? Because
yes,
you were so kind to give us some a few years
that is
back.
true. That was kind of like a mock-up I worked on, and it was like, I think the gray was a little dark, so I went with a little bit of a lighter gray this time.
Yes, that was the mock-up one, and this is Mark II.
Yeah, this is Mark II. Yeah, you guys got the Rod Evans and the Nick Simper autographed hats. But yeah, you can support us on Patreon or on PayPal for as little as $1 a month. You can also donate on PayPal. What you get when you're a patron, you get access to our patrons only Discord. You get access to our rating spreadsheet. You are able to rank our albums and our album ranking shows and join us on live streams. I think that covers just about everything. You can also support us on Ko-fi, support us on Cash App at $DPPOD, and a brand new thing for all 3 of our YouTube watchers. There's super. We just became eligible for super thanks. So you can hit the super thanks button right below your video here, assuming this video isn't banned, and thank us on YouTube with cold hard American dollars. Okay, so speaking of our patrons, coming in at the executive level at the in memoriam tier, the wonderful late Gerald, Jerry, Kelly, and family. At the $25 uncommon man tier, we have Ovis Nakfi. At the 15 squid tier, we have Alan. At the 10-pound good doctor tier, we have Dr. Mike Catan. And at the turn it up to $11 tier, Clay Wambacher, Frank Thielgard Mortensen, Mickelstein, Will Porter, PhDPP, and Michael, don't call him Bradford Bagford. At the $10 someone came tier, Ryan M., Jeff Bryce, Victor Campos, Better Call Saul Evans. And Peter from Illinois. And at the Hughes-Oween by 2033 tier, Fielding Fowler. Thank you to all of our executive level patrons for all of your support. All right. We did get a couple little things here. One, we got a note from the wonderful patron, Anders Engstrom. It says, "Hi, Nate and John. After being a patron for more than a year, it is high time to introduce myself. Discovered your podcast in spring of 2020, and it helped me stay sane through the pandemic craze, although it was kind of soft here in Sweden. I've been a DP fan since the mid-'70s, which kind of gives away my age. Anyway, love your podcast. Keep up the good work, Anders."
All right.
So thank you. We want to hear from all of our patrons. We don't hear from everybody all the time. Some people signed up and haven't reached out, so send us a note if you haven't talked to us in a while. We love to hear it.
Maybe it's like the Netflix where they don't use it anymore, but they still get billed.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. They've moved on. They just keep they see it every month on their credit cards. Damn it, I got to cancel that thing. Yeah, it's quite possible, actually. Our Deep Purple Fireball rankings episode is coming up. So if you're a patron, click on the link to rank the album Fireball. The songs on the album Fireball rankings are due by January 15th, 2025. And then you can also check out our brother and sister shows on the Deep Dive Podcast Network. So before we get into the meat of this week's subject with our wonderful guests, I do have something here from one of our wonderful guests, and that is, of course, postcards from the edge of Connecticut. And this time it is a package from the edge of Connecticut. It's addressed from Mr. Peter Gardeau to me. And then it says R.E. birthday. So must know that my birthday's coming up. So is there anything else I need to know before I open this?
Just be careful. There might be material in there.
It feels like there's definitely material in there. Okay, so let me...
Well, definitely Nate had to probably run almost to Connecticut to retrieve this package.
I lost it.
Right before the show.
Look at this.
Oh.
It's wrapped with little puppy and dog.
Very nice.
A puppy dog.
Love it.
Upside down. Puppy dog wrapping paper. There's a card that says Nathan. Open it up. There's a puppy. Don't worry about another birthday, and it says Devil Dog. Okay. So here it goes. Nathan, now here's a happy birthday greeting for you. Peter, P.S. They did not have extra short, large. Hopefully this size works. Extra short, large. Why I gotta... It's gotta post it on it that says material. Some sort of red fabric.
Red material.
Oh, it's a Stu Leonard shirt.
Oh, awesome.
Look at that. Oh, that's nice. I'm gonna wear that to work.
Farm fresh since 1969.
Yeah.
Farm fresh since 19. Oh, there's something else here. Oh my God, Nate, for the computer upgrade, it's an 8.5-inch diskette.
Oh my God.
Oh, Memorex. Awesome.
Yeah, wow.
Oh my God, that thing's as big as a record.
They're 8.5, right? Or was it just 8?
8.
It's just 8. Okay. It was the 5.5. It was 8, 5.5, and then 3 1/4. Or no, it was 3.5 and 5 1/4. I think.
I think you're right on the second. Yeah, second go around there. Yeah.
Back when that was relevant, I used to know. Look at that. I haven't seen one of these big boys in a while.
Yeah.
And it has 100, it holds 128 bytes.
Ooh.
Bytes. Wow. That's a lot of bytes.
I could fit 2 WordStar documents on this as long as it wasn't too long.
Yeah.
Two
So Nate, these are 5 1/4.
5 1/4, 3 1/2, and then 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well, thank you.
Oh.
This looks brand new. This is like, there's not a speck of dust on this thing. Look at this. This is unbelievable.
Yeah. So Pete, to your knowledge, there's no data on there. Is it blank?
It's ITAR cleared. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna hook up an old 8-inch drive, and then this is gonna give me a horrible virus.
Nate's going to get in a time machine and go back to the late 70s. And
a horrible virus that'll take 6 hours to load.
Yeah. Loading. We back in the day, they would take a disc and then put one of the labels on it, and the label would say like payroll.txt or payroll. Whatever Lotus 123 file, and they just leave it in in the office somewhere, knowing that somebody would see it and pick it up and put it in their computer because they get nosy, and then the whole place would have a virus.
boom.
That was back when you had to do viruses manually. All right. Well, thank you so much. Very nice. My birthday came a little early. Well, as of
Happy
the
birthday.
release of this, it'll be late, but right on time. Thank you so much. All right. So here we are. Barbi Benton. I'm not going to ask what anyone's background with this album is because nobody's heard it. So what's your background with Barbi Benton? Or if assuming it's family friendly.
Well,
Who wants to go first?
I mean, well, mine will probably be the shortest. My hearing Roger's story about her.
Oh.
One of the times when we met him recently, that's about it.
Yeah, we'll have to debate how much of that story we can recount.
Okay.
It wasn't particularly salacious, but it was a funny story. Because Rich just asked him kind of out of the blue, like, hey, asked him, let's just say Rich, if you know Rich, you know what kind of question he asked him. And Roger he went on about meeting her and the experience of recording the album and stuff. It was pretty interesting. So maybe we'll drop those tidbits in as we get along. Mark and Pete, Barbi Benton, besides the 1968 Playboy Deep Purple performance.
Yeah.
for me, she was always on Fantasy Island and The Love Boat. All right. She was a mainstay of those. And I found out by doing a little bit of research, she was also on McCloud.
Yes.
So
I saw that
over
as well.
the weekend, my wife and I watched the Park Avenue Pirates episode, season 6, episode 1 of McCloud, where she was the singer, and it was actually It was entertaining. And she sang and she wasn't dressed up like she was on the Love Boat or, it's very modest.
Hmm.
So,
All right.
Yeah. And
Very good.
I have actually, what was that, 6 degrees of separation? I've got a 1 degree of separation because my brother, who some people call Tom, he actually met Barbie Benton
Oh,
at
wow.
the big Coliseum where the hockey team used to play because my brother worked as an usher
I wish I had the
there.
song queued up.
And so I went and it's like, all right, was she ever in the state for any reason around that time? And I saw that she actually performed at the Big E September 10th, 1975. So that's right around the time that my brother would have been working there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. So that's interesting. And Pete and I probably have the same, thing about Barbi Benton. She was also on Hee Haw,
Yes. Yep.
and Ronan Martin's Laughing early on. And she was kind of one of these people that was just, either guest starring or she would occasionally show up on these shows. And she was very attractive, of course. We knew that she basically, her claim to fame was she was Hugh Hefner's girlfriend for a while there.
Main girlfriend.
Yep, main girlfriend, and being a teenager in the later 70s too, it was like, well, you saw the beginning of the Love Boat or Fantasy Island come on, and it's like they showed that she was going to be on, and it's like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna watch this.
I'm gonna watch this
where
for
I might not normally.
for the 13 seconds scene where she's walking around in a bikini.
Yes, exactly. So,
So, Mark,
yeah.
where again did you see?
No, my brother. So my brother Tom, it was the Hartford Civic Center. Pete and I always refer it.
All right, just had to get that out there.
Thank you. Yeah. It's always referred to as the big Coliseum in the big city where the hockey team used to
The
play.
big city.
Yeah. And so.
So I think my first introduction to Barbi Benton was the movie Deathstalker. So me and my buddy Paul, who've been on this, and John's buddy Paul, who's been on the show several times, most notably the Jesus Christ probably only the Jesus Christ Superstar episodes. We would go to whatever Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, whatever local video place. We just say, like, what's the crappiest movie we can find, and we like on a Friday, Saturday night, and we'd bring it home. And Deathstalker, 1983, she plays the female lead, and it's just this sword and source, absolutely awful movie, but an amazing series of 4 movies, and then 2 spin-off movies. So I've become somewhat of an expert on that franchise. But it's very interesting because they had this guy, Rick Hill, who played Deathstalker, who was an absolutely charisma-free, shirtless guy with a sword who'd go around like kind of I don't know, like I don't know how you'd call him, but he wasn't necessarily a good guy. He beat some bad guys, but he was kind of like morally ambiguous, and he would just kind of go around and just being a big dunderhead. And then in the second and third movies, they got these kind of weirdos to play Deathstalker, and it took a really weird turn in those 2 movies. And then the 4th movie, they brought the guy with no charisma back to be Deathstalker again. And so it was a complete disaster of a franchise. And then the best part of it was actually this, I think it was called Sorceress or something. And Lana Clarkson, who later was unfortunately killed by, what's his name, Phil Spector. She was the lead in those, and she was actually a really good actress. Completely deserved better than those movies and better than Phil Spector. But so that's my history with her, is from the Deathstalker movie. And then obviously, and I think it probably said on the box, featuring Playboy Playmate Barbi Benton. I'm sure there was a topless scene in there somewhere. There was usually a lot of gratuitous topless scenes in those fantasy movies. So that's my history with Barbi Benton. And then imagine my surprise years later when I found out that she she had a musical career being produced by Roger Glover. Which, in case you haven't figured it out yet, why the hell we're covering this album? It was there was a few connections to Deep Purple, but the most prominent one being that it was produced by Roger Glover.
And I have a theory that the real reason Pete and I are on this show is to get back at us for having you guys on the Ethel Merman episode.
I figured, yeah, it was just one of those completely out there albums, and I figured it would tickle you guys' fancy to dive into it. But it's I don't have the album artwork handy, but I do have the album right over here.
Yeah, in fact, the way, yeah.
All right, you can go ahead.
Oh no, the way you had it situated back there, it almost looked like Barbie Benton was lying like on your couch back there.
Is that
Like,
her
wow,
in the background? She's perfectly still.
Yeah.
So this is the album. It was only released in Sweden. I'll give you a little bit of a preview here. So I ordered it, and you can't find this anywhere on any streaming services. It's not on YouTube. So I did it the old-fashioned way. I ordered the album, and I recorded it to my computer. So we'll be listening to that. There's the back cover there.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
More playful pose on the back cover. But yeah, she's on this couch that isn't too much unlike the studio couch here. But usually there's a dog lying on that couch, not Barbie Benton. But yeah, that's all of our combined histories, I guess, with Barbie Benton, which is not very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of I'll tell you, there's a lot of heavy hitters and a lot of on every aspect of this album. So where do we go here? So it was arranged by Graham Prescott, who we saw most recently in the 1999 concerto playing the violin with the playing the violin in a t-shirt. He was the arranger and composer for this.
right.
He also did all the arrangements on Roger Glover's Mask album. Backing vocals, some heavy hitters. Claire Torrey. Anybody know Claire Torrey? She
Nope.
is the woman who sang Great Gig in the Sky by Pink Floyd, and
Oh,
okay.
eventually
Yeah.
ended up suing them and getting writing credits and getting royalties on that song, because basically she wrote the song. It's just like a couple piano chords with her doing this amazing backing vocal, well, I guess foreground vocal on it. Doreen and Irene Chanter, who are members of the Chanter sisters. Doreen and Irene both having previously worked with Rod Stewart and David Coverdale on his solo albums, which we recently got into. Jill McIntosh, John Perry, who worked with Cliff Richard, Elton John, and his website says he sang on Hey Jude. So I guess he must have been one of the people in the room singing the outro. That's a pretty good claim to fame. Kay Garner, who worked with Elton John, was in Jesus Christ Superstar and Dusty Springfield. Tony Rivers, another Cliff Richard person. And then Vicki Brown, the mother of Sam Brown, who we recently saw also in the 1999 concerto. So on bass, we have none other than Sausage Fingers himself, Mr. Mo Foster.
Hey.
Wow.
All right.
So a favorite there. Drums, we got Barry D'Souza, who had worked with Eddie Hardin, Rosemary Clooney, interestingly enough, David Byron, and then Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. You guys know that one? No? It's like a concept album. It's pretty cool. So he played on that. Dave Potts, who worked with the band Praying Mantis, which was like a new wave of British heavy metal band, and then Simon Phillips, who's been on a million different things we've covered. On guitar, a gentleman that likes to wear a hat known as Mickey Moody, credited as Mick Moody on this.
Okay.
Who else? Harp, Fiona Hibbert. Keyboards, Mike Moran from Ian Gillan Band, and Tony Hymas, who is a British jazz piano player who played with Jeff Beck, Stanley Clarke, and Frank Sinatra. The band leader was Gavin Wright, but he's leading the Martin Ford Orchestra. I reached out to Martin Ford, and he said he's digging into his notes to find out what he's like. I don't remember. He said if there's French horn on there, I played it, but I don't remember why he was conducting. So he's got a ton of credits. The guy who directed this, he went on to work with like Oasis and Tina Turner and all sorts of stuff. And then he did movie scores for the Shrek movies, Batman Begins and 12 Monkeys. And then on steel guitar, the last one is John Badazio, who worked on the soundtrack for the TV show LA Law, not Law and Order. So very, very weird collection of musicians, but some pretty big names there.
Yeah.
Kind of a
I don't think I've seen any of those.
Any of those movies
Or the TV show.
or the TV show.
Never
You
saw
haven't seen
Law and
LA
Order.
Law. I never
No.
watched LA Law, although we have had Corbin Burnson on the show before.
That's right. Yeah.
Episode 50 he was on. I remember when we made it to 50 episodes, Corbin Burnson, he just had to reach out because he's such a big
that's right.
fan.
Mm.
All right. So that's kind of all the players on this. And then as we get into the songwriters, you'll see that there's a lot of heavy hitters there too. But that's kind of
Wow.
any other last minute things before we thank the next round of patrons and get into these tracks?
I believe her genre was country primarily. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
It seems to be that way. Very big in Sweden. I guess they like their country music in Sweden.
Mm.
Oh boy, this is going to be country.
John's like, guys, you're breaking up.
Well, maybe,
I'm not-
maybe it's a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll. Oh no, that's Marie.
Yeah, that's.
So
Hey,
Nate,
anybody seen her lately? She's looking kind of frightening.
Who's
She
that?
just turned 65, so she's checking her zip code to get Medicare and all that
Oh,
stuff.
Barbie Benton.
no, Marie.
Marie Osmond.
Osmond. No,
Marie,
yeah,
I'm
she
sorry.
might have turned 60, but I think her face is still 50. Like she's just
pro.
like she's like
Yeah.
this.
Barbie
Nate,
Benton.
I'm sorry. Are we going to be rating this using
Oh,
the
yeah. I want
Deep
to see how
Purple
this
podcast
stacks up.
rating?
I want to see how this stacks up.
Oh
Okay.
boy. Okay.
So Mark, should we do a secondary rating with our ratings?
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't see why not. Yeah. Yeah.
And John, should I just copy paste one straight down the line for you in advance, or
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be in danger of this like uprooting Blizzard of Oz or White Snake anytime soon.
a new record?
Or perfect
a new record has taken
strangers.
Yeah. And unfortunately, anyone who listens to our show knows country is not my thing.
No.
Really, but
Same
but
here.
we'll see. You know,
You think it's not so good?
not so good. Yeah.
Well,
Me neither. I'm not a big fan.
I've had a little bit of a taste because I had to record the album, but I've really only heard like the beginnings. The title track I've heard quite a bit because I was researching some other versions of it, which we'll get into later. But the other tracks, I just heard like the first few seconds and just got the EQ right, and I tried to kind of compress everything so it wasn't so quiet, and it'll hopefully it'll come across okay on the recording here. But yeah, I've just had a little taste of what they sound like, so I'm interested to hear the whole thing.
All right, we'll see. We'll see.
It's a Roger Glover production. It's got some good musicians on it. So.
Nate, can I ask how much did it set you back to buy the album?
Ooh, yeah, that's a really good question. Let me look it up because I don't remember. I bought it quite a while ago. When did I buy it? I bought it in June, and I paid I paid €2.45 and
Wow.
22 euros for shipping.
Jesus Christ,
You could have flown over there and gotten it.
It was from Sweden, so I mean, wasn't released outside of Scandinavia, so there just aren't that many copies over here. So there's really not many options.
Yeah, that's great. It's like,
Well, fantastic use of Patreon money
Exactly.
for sure.
wow,
You can do the math to figure out what your percentage contribution was to this album that was played
Wow.
once to record it onto my computer. But it's an excellent condition. Like very,
was
very
it a new album or used?
it must be used, but it's I mean, God, it looks in perfect condition. Probably didn't get played a lot, and it's on the Playboy. I don't see the little logo there. It's on the Playboy record label.
Record company. Yep.
Yeah. So
Is it a paper insert, a dust cover, or is there like?
yeah, that would be great if it was like, oh, check out our other albums on the Playboy label, but no. And the vinyl's in perfect condition. So, all right. Well, with that, then we'll get into our patrons, and then we'll start listening to some of these country classics. Next level up is our core level patrons. Coming in at the $8.99 What's Going On Here tier, we have Mr. Richard Fusey. At the $7.77 Keep It Warm Rat tier, we have Michael Vader.
Impressive.
At the $6.99 New Nice Price tier, Spike the Rock Cat and Sugar Tea. At the episode $6.66 tier, we have Steve Coldwell, Arthur Smith.
Getting support from the patron Arthur Smith.
Anton Glaving.
Pain in the glaving!
And Charles Meadows. At the $6.65 Almost Evil tier, we have Kenny Wymore and Richie Sucksmith. At the $5.99 The Nice Price tier, Robert Smith and Carl Hellberg. At the 60 kroner Scandinavian Nights tier, we have Newt Morton Johansson. And at the $5 Money to Lender tier, John Convery, German Heindel, Adrian Hernandez, Jesper Alman, Alexei the Perfect Stranger Slepikov, Kev Roberts, Percival Frequency, Scott Zerns, Cynthia Doobie, Raf Calf. Oops.
My Czechoslovakian is not so good.
Coyote Bongwater.
Whoops.
John Maselli.
You keep that up, your face is gonna freeze that way.
Sarah Sanders.
No! Kelly Clarkson!
Jelly Bean and Evan Robison. Thank you so much to all of you for your generous support of the Deep Purple podcast. All right. So are we ready? Ready to get into it?
Absolutely.
Born.
This is the opening track, and the titular Ain't That Just the Way. It was written by Bruce Belland, who was a singer in a group called the Four Preps. So he wrote a song called A Letter to the Beatles. That was one of their hits. So apparently it was kind of like almost like a satire folk band. But since it was kind of negative about the Beatles and they were on the same record label, they were on Capitol, I believe. Capitol like deleted the song. They said that we're not going to play that anymore because it's critical of the Beatles. This was in 1964. So they probably didn't realize at that point that the Four Preps were probably not going to take out the Beatles.
Yeah.
So he's got over 200 entries on Discogs. The next writer is Glenn Larson. Wouldn't you know it? Also a vocalist in the Four Preps. Very prolific songwriter. So get this. He went on after this to create TV shows. Want to hear some of the shows he created? Alias Smith and Jones, Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers in the 25th century, The Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo. Don't know that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Do you know that one?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of it. Quincy M.E., The Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew Mysteries, BJ and the Bear, The Fall Guy, Magnum P.I., and Knight Rider.
Holy smokes, man.
Yeah. So
But you forgot the best $6 Million Man.
did he make that one too?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that one listed here.
Yeah.
Man, how did they leave that one out?
Yeah.
But pretty incredible. He's got over 400 entries on Discogs. And then not to be outdone, Stu Phillips, who has over 800 entries on Discogs.
Whoa.
Best known for composing the theme tunes to television series McCloud, which just got mentioned, Battlestar Galactica, and Knight Rider. And
Oh,
he
that
was born
Knight
in
Rider's pretty cool.
1929, and he's still alive,
Oh.
95 years old.
Wow.
God bless him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this song was a huge hit in Scandinavia, reaching number 1, number 2 in Sweden. I'm sorry, number 1 in Sweden, number 2 in Norway, and number 1 in Finland. And then it was originally recorded as a B-side for Barbi's 1975 single Reverend Bob. And then Vicky Rosti, a Finnish singer, ended up doing a Finnish language version of it, which I'm going to see if I can get this pronunciation right. I reached out to Jonathan Hedlund, who is Finnish by birth, and his mother is Finnish. I'm trying to see about it, but he wasn't able to. He said my mom just left. She would have been able to pronounce it perfectly for you. Let me see if I can find my my pronunciation here. The heck is it? Finnish to English. Let's see if this comes out. Man, I'm creating a lot of dead hair trying to figure this out.
It's all right. Pete, was BJ and the Bear a spinoff of Sheriff Lobo, or was it the other way around?
I think Sheriff Lobo was a spinoff of BJ and the Bear.
That's what I thought.
Wasn't Chet Akins in that?
In Sheriff Lobo, yeah.
In Sheriff Lobo, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if this works.
Näinkö aina meille täällä käy?
Okay. That's how you pronounce it in Finnish.
Okay.
I'll put a link in the show notes if you want to listen to the Finnish version. But without any further ado, obviously we get the most stuff about this song. Let's get into it. Ain't That Just the Way?
He was a very special, warm and gentle person.
I can see John already.
Music in the world.
Nate, can you go up a little louder?
Sure.
And it hurts me that I never really knew him. 'Cause all it would have taken was some time. He always seemed to be there when
So this is all over that episode, Park Avenue Pirates.
Yeah.
And as we were watching it, my wife said, or we both kind of agreed that she's kind of sounded like Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say she sounded very familiar tone to her voice.
Yeah.
So there was like some sort of crossover then? They were trying to get up a little, trying to sell some singles through that episode?
Well, that episode came out in 1975, September of 75.
Okay, so when this was originally released as the B-side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So that was when she went to the Big E, too. September 75.
So the Swedes just love this one. There was also another one in the 90s. They did another version of this song by Latricia McNeil, who interestingly went on to pose for the German version of Playboy. So
She wasn't part of a duo, was she? Remember
Barbie
we
Benton?
had no McNeil.
Latricia McNeil.
Yeah. Because didn't we have McNeil and somebody on our show?
Are you thinking
I don't know.
McFadden and Whitehead?
No.
Yeah. No, I don't recall.
They were Europeans. They had a big hit. To look that one up.
I think she just has solo albums, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
So there's a great scene at the end of the McLeod where he's recording this, and Dennis Weaver's in the recording booth, and he's kind of dancing around. It's a great little scene. I would recommend everyone watch McLeod. It's good.
All right, I'm gonna have to put in a link to the that specific episode in the show notes. So these songs are pretty like radio friendly, so they're all kind of on the shorter side. But
Good, because I mean, I saw how many tracks were on this, and I'm like, Jesus, oh my God.
It's not a Glenn Hughes 1997 LP or CD.
Yikes.
All right. Well, who wants to kick it off with their ratings?
Um, I'll give it a 1.5.
Oh wow, coming in low.
Yeah.
All right, so let me. I'm gonna
I
put
mean,
Mark as
yeah.
guest number 1 here.
I mean, are we just rating it as if against any music ever is basically the thing?
I don't know that we've ever determined exactly what we're supposed to be ranking.
Well, you know,
I mean,
like-
usually when we ranking them, then we'll just like rate them on how we like the song,
yeah.
just in general. I mean, you know, our tastes are our tastes.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
maybe I'll go. I actually want to go up to a 2 because I think I wouldn't necessarily give this a bad on our show. I might almost stretch it to a neutral. Yeah.
I think
All right,
that's fair.
put me down for a 2.
Put you down for a 2. Okay. Pete, what do you think?
I'm giving it a 3.5.
All right.
Oof.
All right.
Maybe you got warmed up from that episode hearing it so much.
I got warmed up from that episode, and actually I was humming it all day.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
wow.
It was almost like chocolate or in vanilla or whatever the heck that song.
Coffee and vanilla.
Coffee and vanilla.
Coffee and vanilla.
That
Because
one
I was
very
singing that
catchy.
song all day too.
chocolate
That
and
one to
vanilla.
the point. Coffee and vanilla. No, I think it has a great hook. You can sing along to it. I don't know if you can dance to it like Dennis Weaver did, but you know, I wouldn't put this on your Deep Purple dance show.
Deep Purple's dance hits.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I think it's really well done, and for something that was, you know, made for TV, they're looking to get a big audience, and I think it's nice, and I think she sounds great, and I enjoyed it.
All right. So we got a 1.5. I'm sorry, a 2 from Mark, a 3.5 from Pete. John?
Well, I'll split the difference here and say 2.5.
Okay.
So I say I wouldn't find it completely objectionable, but you know, it's just it was all right. I mean, it very once you guys pointed out, it was very Olivia Newton-Johnish sounding. It's like, all right, I mean, that's pleasant enough, but I mean, the song didn't offer anything new. It just sounded like any late 70s type of thing that I would have probably heard on your guys' show. So,
All right. Yeah, it sounded like one of those ones that would be uncomfortably close to the top slot on the 70s Weekly, one of just those like sappy. I mean,
yeah.
who is the one that's making all the syrup? Helen Reddy?
Yeah.
Could have been a Helen
Reddy.
Reddy song.
Yeah.
I'll give this one a 3. I think it's a pretty, I mean, for what it is, being like a quasi country pop song, it's just pretty decent.
Her vocals are not bad. I mean, you know, nothing spectacular, but they're decent, and you know, the backing music it seemed to be mixed well and everything. It's
And it's that song is Ain't That Just the Way. There's like a parenthetical in some versions, like Ain't That Just the Way, and then in parentheses, or whatever the hell it was. I forgot what you were saying after that. But there's quite a few very long, clumsy parenthetical titles on this album. That would
Wow,
would
you're
have been
throwing
the
in a
first.
$5 word there, parenthetical.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you can keep that one.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is the first of the. It's hard to say goodbye, and then in parentheses, it's hard to say hello. It's hard to say either. Oh, I didn't say who this was written by, but written by Randy Edelman. He wrote for the Carpenters, Barry Manilow, and Dionne Warwick. And when you're ready, he's got a laundry list of movies he did the film scores for, all of which I'm sure Pete has not seen. He also wrote the theme song for MacGyver. Seems like a amazing amount of television work from these writers here.
Yeah.
I've never seen MacGyver either.
No, I probably haven't seen it since the 80s or maybe the early 90s, whenever it wrapped up.
All I know is how the Simpsons always used to talk about, how it was Thelma and Louise's or whatever, the aunts,
Oh, Patty and Thelma.
Yeah.
What are their
Thelma and
names?
Louise. Patty and
Yes,
Thelma.
Patty and Selma.
Patty and
Selma,
Selma.
Can you imagine what MacGyver could do in Pete's basement? Oh my God. He could make a spaceship for God's sake.
It'd be too easy for him.
Yeah.
No challenge at all. Here's the cover of the album, complete with the Swedish department store sticker on it, the Swedish version of Caldor. Levi
Trying
Minton.
to see if that was a watch. It's see what time it was. It's not a watch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's like a. It kind of looks like the bracelet that David Coverdale's wearing in the California Jam.
So did you have her real name written down? Nate?
Barbie Benton's real name? It's
Yes.
Barbara Lynn Klein.
Right, yeah. And it just, I always, you think maybe a little something was done to her nose? I don't know.
That's quite possible.
Yeah. But,
She's still around. She's in her 70s or early 70s.
74, I think. She was born in 1950 in New York, New York. I did a little research myself.
I remember we did the math on that episode of the Playboy show that she was on, and figured she must have turned 18 the day before they recorded it.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find a new love when the old love
Is it over? Is that it?
Oh, I was gonna say, what happened to the music?
Is it gone?
No,
No,
it's back.
Oh, okay. Am I?
What'd you do? Put that disc in your computer?
It's eating up resources. So that yeah, so that's it's hard to say goodbye. I would say if we were on you guys' show, that would probably get a sap from me. Pretty sappy dappy song. But
Yeah.
Mark, what do you say?
Yeah, if I gave the other one a 2, I got to go with a 1.5 on that one. Just
Okay.
yeah, it offered really nothing. I mean, a song like that from Olivia Newton-John would, I
Yeah.
think, be more listenable. Yeah.
All right, Pete.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
All right.
Yeah, it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. I think we'd rather listen to the MacGyver theme. But speaking of which, I should take this. So he did the film soundtracks for Twins, Ghostbusters 2, Kindergarten Cop, Drop Dead Fred, Beethoven, The Distinguished Gentleman, Gettysburg, Angels in the Outfield, The Mask, Pontiac Moon, The Indian in the Cupboard, Dragonheart, Daylight, and Triple X.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
And then he also did this song.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So what do you think, John?
Yeah, I wasn't really that interested. To
Isn't that the norm?
sorry, 0.2. Yeah,
Give it a
2.
0.2, which would be almost the lowest score we ever got.
Sorry, 2.
The lowest non-butthole surfers score. I'll give it a 2 as well. It's yeah, it is what it is. It's a sappy 70s ballad sort of song.
Yeah, not really that country actually. Just
No, so
kinda
far
sappy
I wouldn't
ballad.
call it. It's like Yeah, I don't know what you would call this style. It's kind of straddles between country and some other stuff. But
The previous song had some steel guitar in it, I think, and
Yeah.
that
Yeah, a
always
little
kills
bit.
me about country. Like, let's just throw some steel guitar in there and make it a
Yeah.
country song. You
And
know?
we'll call it country. Burn.
I think they do that when they listen back. They have like it doesn't sound country enough. You know what to do. Call up the steel guitar player. This next track is called "It's a Long Way to Heaven." It was written by Bill Martin Jr., who this is his only credit that I could find on Discogs, and Graham Prescott, who is our violin playing friend and who did all the orchestrations. So here it is. It's a long way to heaven.
That's 2 songs in a row that start with "it's."
Oh yeah, I'm always very sensitive to that when I'm looking at albums when they have like 3 songs in a row that say love or 3 songs in a row that have similar syntax. It's like, should have either moved them around or changed the name of the song.
Here's your steel guitar, Mark.
Yeah, this is the most prominent usage so far. So Roger Glover talks about when they first came to his house to discuss doing this album, they erupted into a food fight. Do you remember why he said a food fight broke out, John?
Oh man.
Or do you remember that he said a food fight?
No, I do.
But it was something
I-
like somebody accidentally did something, like accidentally dropped
shit.
something, and so somebody threw some food, and then they just had he said it was kind of like tense, and it felt a little uncomfortable, but it kind of totally like broke the ice, and then they were like fine after that. And it was
I remember
Barbi
him
and her
telling the
sister
story, but
went.
I can't remember why.
Ooh, the little Fender Rhodes there.
Boy, that little drum break there sounded like the Carpenters. Yeah. Having never heard this before, it's going to get comparisons to other stuff, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice you can hear the nice vinyl crackles in there. Very authentic.
I like that. Probably my favorite part of the song.
The crackles. Want me to isolate the crackles for you, John?
Yeah, just the vinyls popping and clicking and
We should put just a vinyl crackle on this whole episode. This is we unearthed an old episode from the 70s. Another quick one from Barbi. All right, Mark.
I'll give that one a 2. I think I liked it a little better than the previous track. Heavy on the steel guitar, but I was going into this expecting that. So
Yeah.
I actually liked the orchestra or orchestration in the background, though. That was kind of nice, and it moved along a little bit. I wouldn't necessarily call this sap.
Yeah.
It was all right. Yeah.
I'll have to see when Martin gets back to me what the he says he has all of his session notes, so he's gonna try to dig it up. I'll have to post that as a bonus episode. All right, Pete.
This is a hard one. I'm going to have to go 1.5 on this.
All right.
And
that's it.
that's it.
Nothing else to say.
it's like I'm done anyway.
Yeah, no comment even.
No comment.
Let me ask you this: Has Roger Glover done anything with steel guitar? Did Richie ever played, or Steve Morse, or
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think so as far as Deep Purple playing, because I think Richie played with a slide a lot, but that's very different. And
Or a screwdriver.
Or a screwdriver.
Right.
Yeah.
There may have been like some other thing that he had done somewhere that was like.
Yeah. Did he pop that on there, or did someone from Hollywood or whatever put all that steel in there. So
Yeah, I'm
just
sure it was
kind
just one
of
of those things.
interesting. Yeah.
All right, John.
Um, I'll give it a 2.
All right.
It's yeah, it's just there. It's not distinguishable to like anything else that I don't know. Just it's
Yeah, I,
True.
I will also give it a 2, and I think it would be in the 70s weekly rating system. It would be it would be
Sap.
probably a neutral. I don't think it's, well, I mean, I guess they're all kind of sappy by
Yeah.
this point, but
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like all these are sap.
yeah. All right, well, will the next one be sap? This one is this one's titled Up in the Air, and this might be the most interesting one as it's written by Barbi Benton, Roger Glover, and David Coverdale.
What? What?
What?
Yep, you heard me.
Wow.
So let's see if that comes across.
Is the title about David Coverdale's junk? I mean, what the?
up in the air. Yeah, he's like standing over a bridge dangling his junk.
No,
Hey, up in the air.
He saw Barbie in that title game.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm sure he tried to muscle his way into these sessions. All right, let's check this one out.
Well, this should be interesting.
Yeah, all right, here we go.
You can try to imagine what it's like with Coverdale singing it.
Well, he wrote for Tina Turner and Barbi Benton.
Oh, did you hear that? Dun, 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 dun. That sounded like
I discovered you, my song was incomplete.
what the hell? I can't think of it because this song's playing, but it sounded like a Whitesnake song.
No one could sing the harmony.
I think it was Is This Love?
But you changed the key and now
Maybe we should go back and listen to it after the song's over.
Yeah. Oh, they might do it again. Let's listen.
take my hand and together we'll float away. Up in the air, you make me feel like I'm flying. Up in the air.
Oh,
You know,
just that steel guitar, just get it out of there. I just hate it so much. It just illegitimizes everything. Ugh.
This, do the vocals seem like kind of down in the mix too in this
Yeah.
one?
yeah.
Sounds
I mean,
different than the others.
Yeah, it almost sounds like they're kind of blending
listen
into
to
the
those,
song.
cellos. Or do you hear dun 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 dun?
No, I missed it again.
Ah, crap! I was talking over it.
Jerk. Where'd it go?
Is it over? Oh, there it is.
Oh, is it coming in quiet for you guys?
No, the song just kind of stopped.
Oh, really? Oh,
It's like
Maybe
a
it was
false ending.
maybe it was a Zoom thing.
Probably.
Lost within my fantasy. Up in the air.
I mean, I can see this song being good with someone else singing it. I just feel like the vocals are a little weak.
It's thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picture Coverdale singing it.
Let's see if they do it here.
I don't mind,
They might not do it again.
but I wonder what I'm gonna find. Up in the air. Feeling much too
Oh.
I did hear it that time.
You heard
Nate.
it that time?
Yeah.
Just for good measure, let's just listen to the very opening right before the vocals come in, and you can kind of hear that like the beginning
Because
of
it's like
Is
the
This Love, right?
bum 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 bum.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very similar.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, I kind of like that idea. Why don't I just reuse it since it was on that weird.
Why don't I just hang on
Barbie
to it and use it
Benton
like
album?
9 years down the line?
All right. So Up in the Air, Mark.
Ooh. I hate to give like everything a 2. Like this one, I thought the backing music was actually pretty good on this. Kind of like that bass groove going through there, and I kind of like that chorus thing they had near the end. But to your guys' point, her vocals, I don't know. She should have gone and seen Ethel for some belting lessons. Just a little more power there, you know.
Belting lessons.
Give me an arpeggio.
Yeah, but I'm gonna give it a 1.5. I think that what I was saying too about the way the vocals were mixed was just like really bad on that, I thought.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call the song a sap necessarily, but it's
Yeah, it was
more of a bad. But
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's I would go neutral on this, and going neutral, I'd give it a 2.0 because I thought the music was once I got rid of that steel guitar in the beginning, I thought the orchestration and how it was put together was really, really pleasant.
Mhm.
And to know that David Coverdale had something to do with it was very interesting. And Roger, you
Yep.
said Roger was part of this too. Yeah. So did they write stuff to, no, they were never in Deep Purple together, were they? No, they weren't. Yeah. No.
I think
Okay.
they wrote I don't know if Glover got any writing credits on his
Solo records.
on his solo albums, but
Yeah.
I can't remember. But somebody did make a point that since they've branded all of his albums as Whitesnake albums now, that Roger Glover is now a former Whitesnake member.
Oh.
There you go.
Retroactively.
Retroactively a member
So
of Whitesnake.
so Roger, as far as you could tell, didn't play the bass on any of these songs, did he?
No, it just lists Graham Prescott and Mo Foster.
Okay.
John.
I'll give this one a 3.
Oh.
It was actually like I kind of liked it. I don't know if it's because you said like Glover and Coverdale were part of writing it or something, but it's like I definitely liked it a little bit better. I thought it was a little bit more interesting of a song. And maybe it's also because I was like picturing Coverdale singing it on his solo album.
Yeah. Yep. So we've got Coverdale's solo album on our mind, having just listened to it.
Yeah.
As it was just released. I will give it a 3.5.
Whoa.
Wow.
And to me, it really reminds me, like all the music going on behind it reminds me of like it could be like almost a Lost Butterfly Ball song, but the vocals. She's a very competent singer. She's hitting notes and stuff, but there's not like a lot of panache, for lack of a better term. It's very straight. Where I think if you'd given this to, just name if you'd given to this any one of the backing singers on this album, it would have been great. But obviously, Barbi Benton is. The vocal skill is kind of secondary at that point. That when you've got somebody that's a star and they're an actor and in TV shows and posing for magazines and everything, one of these multi-talented sort of people, they're going to sell more albums than Claire Forey will. But go and listen to Great Gig in the Sky and tell me that she would killed this song. All right. So now we got another parenthetical song. This is the last one of the group. I can't actually. Oh, I can't widen my thing long enough to read the whole thing, but I think I remember what it is. Take some and give some, and then parentheses, and leave some behind. Like too long for a song.
Glad I'm not the only one that caught that.
A Mr. Furley moment.
What?
You gave us-
He did what?
He left what behind? This is written by Barry Dvorzan. He wrote the theme from SWAT.
Oh.
And
This is like straight up Dolly Parton.
he co-wrote the Beagles hit In the City with Joe Walsh.
Ooh.
And then he wrote the music for the movie The Warriors.
Oh,
Warriors!
wow. Come
Come on,
out.
play! I did see that movie.
I was shocked when you quoted it.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
I wonder if she ever did this on Hee Haw, Mark.
It sounds like it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much only one reason I was watching Hee Haw too back then. But then as I've gotten older now, it's like Roy Clark was like one of the most amazing musicians of all time.
Yeah, Junior Samples right now. BR 549. It's a toe tapper.
I think this one actually suits her voice better.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give her that.
Now the question is, are you guys going to take some, leave some, or put some behind, or whatever? They don't, you can tell this isn't the CD era. They don't let these songs overstay their welcome too much. 2 minutes and 20 seconds or whatever this
Good.
Imagine if this is like a 6-minute song, John.
Oh God. Could you imagine? Oh,
There's no like bonus track CD version or whatever.
Yeah, extended version. Take some and give some and leave some behind. Extended version.
I'll leave it
12-inch
all.
dance.
Leave it all behind.
Yeah.
All right, Mark.
I'm actually gonna give this one a 2.5, and I'm gonna say, like I commented during it, I think it fits her voice better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm not at all a country fan, but I think as a kind of straight up country song, it kind of worked.
All right. Pete.
I'm gonna give this a 3.
All right.
I was actually tapping my toes, and I'm not a big country guy, and I'm not into new country, that's for sure. But this would fit right in with Hee Haw and Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton's great, and I could see her doing something like this. And
Oh yeah.
it was nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I could hear her singing this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, John.
I'll give it a 2. I was gonna give it lower, but I'm gonna have to agree that despite the fact that I don't really like the style of music, it did actually suit her voice better than some of the other kind of poppier songs. So I mean, you have to give her that. But that's all I'm giving her.
And
Leaving the rest behind.
I'll leave the rest behind. Mark beat me to it.
leave the other 3 points behind. I'll give it
Yeah,
a
leave the-
2.5 as well. It's
the other 3 points behind. Yeah.
yeah, it's good for like the style that it is. It's not breaking any new ground, but it's it is what it is. But I can't help but feeling now that you're saying Dolly Parton, I could hear her singing this and it getting a much better score because she just got, you know, such a great voice and such more dynamic delivery. And then I'm kind of reminded of, especially from that Up in the Air song, with thinking about like what would it be like if David Coverdale sung it. Lenny Kravitz released an album in the early 90s. I can't remember when, but it was he was dating Vanessa Paradis, who was the French model, and Lenny Kravitz produced it and played all the instruments on it. So it was basically a Lenny Kravitz album, but she sung all the songs. And it was like incredible album, but you just can't help but think, man, this would be even better if Lenny Kravitz was singing it. And it kind of has that kind of feel where it's like really good production and everything. But what if a Dolly Parton or a David Coverdale or whoever was taking the helm at some of these songs?
I was thinking that Up in the Air. What if like Liza Minnelli did it?
Ooh, there you go. That would be good. Liza. All right. The last song on this first side of this album is written by the same Barry Dvorak of the Warriors fame and theme from SWAT. And this song is called I Don't Know If I'll Ever Love Again.
I hear Kenny Rogers coming in right about now.
Oh, there you go.
I'd like to say so many things,
It's
but I'll just say
cut out again, the music.
Is it cutting out? Huh.
'cause when you
That's
love
back.
and know that you're not loved, the words come out all wrong. I don't know what I'm gonna to make the nights go by. I don't
Guess that must be
know
Mo
if
Fa. Oh, well, one of
I'll
them on the fretless.
or if I'll even try. I saw you through the eyes of love.
It's like they listened to Olivia Newton-John's hits and just tried to copy the
Or
style.
sappier hits.
Yeah.
I mean, so far they're not going out of their way to showcase her versatility. It's a lot of just like slow-paced love songs.
So, Nate, do you have an exact release date of this? I looked for it. I couldn't find it.
It was 78, but I don't know if there's an exact date.
Because when she was on McLeod in September of 75, the #1 song was Fame by David
Okay.
Bowie.
Well, I think, that probably would have coincided with the single release where the title track here was the
Right.
B-side.
Yep.
Oh, a little warping in the record there.
And long fade out though. Wow.
Yeah. All right. Another sappy love song. I don't know if I'll ever love a sappy love song again. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1.5 on that one. I think it was almost like a nothing song.
Yeah.
It's just really nothing there.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 2.
All right.
And
Yeah, I'm gonna slum down there with the Rowback and give it a 1.5 as well. Like I said, I was like, yawn next.
Yeah.
I will also give it a 1.5. Yeah, it was a bit of a snoozer.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's all getting very, very samey. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, actually, only 1, 2. There's only 2 songs that have the word love in them, but I feel like every song has the word love in the title. I was expecting there to be 8, and I'm like, oh, there's only 2.
Yeah.
But they're all just like these sad love songs. Like it'd be just great to hear her do something else like on this album rather than this. And if you're Swedish and you're listening, let me know. Like, do you have any exposure to this album? Do you remember it from the past? Does it have any retro value? Like, why did this kind of generic American country stuff really take off in Scandinavia?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's flip this record over. I'm sure it's going to be like a barn burner to open up the inside.
Oh boy.
And this one is
King.
All right. This one is called Isn't It Always Love? Ooh, I like this. Ooh. All right, see, this is what I'm talking about.
Flute.
Little funky flute, some great bass. Ooh, listen to that bass. That's got to be Sausage Fingers.
You're right, Nate. Total barn burner.
I was expecting a riff, but
A riff on this album? I don't know. I don't think so.
a flute riff.
Well, with that we got.
This is listen to that bass.
Yeah.
This reminds me of like music you'd hear like Schoolhouse Rock.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
With that little flute and everything, just like kind of like a fun little educational TV show.
On your episode that came out today, you guys were talking about Nova. It's like I just watched a Nova like 2 days ago.
They still make Nova?
Oh yeah.
Oh, sure.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Haven't seen one in a while. Ooh.
Who's playing the flute?
The flute is played by Ray Worley. So this song was written by Carla Bonoff.
Oh, sure.
Oh, you know her?
Yeah, she had that big hit in the the heck was that song? Not Morning Train. That was someone else.
Her biggest hit seems to be Personality. Or Personally, rather, sorry.
Yeah, I remember Carla Barnoff from the early 80s. Spelling her name wrong.
I gotta say, she looks great. She's 2 years younger than Barbi Benton. She looks really young. She wrote
Nice
songs
backing.
for Bonnie Raitt, Winona Judd, and Linda Ronstadt.
Backing vocals on this one are pretty good, actually.
Yeah. There you go. All right.
Wow, still fading.
Still going. All right.
Yeesh.
That was a long fade out on that one too. All right. Isn't It Always Love? Who wants to take it
I
away?
I think this is my favorite track on the album so far. I'm going to give this one a 3. Actually, I thought it was a divergence from the rest of the tracks we've heard so far,
Yes.
and really kind of gave us that 70s kind of easy listening vibe, almost. Pete, a yacht rock song, perhaps?
It's proto yacht rock. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's yacht rock adjacent for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Pete.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 3 also. I love that jazz flute. I thought that fit so well in the tapestry of the song.
Mhm.
So
John.
That comment fit his outfit for some reason. The outfit Pete's wearing. It's like he's the professor. The tapestry of the song.
Pete's in his casual. Pete's like Mr. Rogers when he comes home from work, and he's like, I'm gonna get comfortable now. He takes off the jacket and puts a sweater on, leaves the tie on.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, I have my slippers on too.
I'm
There
like
we
the
go.
opposite.
Not my sneakers.
I go out. If I leave the house in my jeans, like I come home and I'm like, oh, gotta get out of this monkey suit. Put on some sweatpants. It's like
oh.
this just isn't a good day to wear hard pants. You gotta wear the soft stuff. All right, John.
All right, I'll give it a 2.5. It
All
it actually wasn't that bad. It was kind of chorus was kind of catchy, and the flute was actually pretty catchy as well. So there's some stuff that's going on in here.
According to this song was also released in 1977, sung by Lynn Anderson.
Oh.
I have to compare it to that one.
Yeah.
But
she's kind of a big name in country, isn't she? If I'm thinking of the same artist, yeah.
It has to be a really big name for me to recognize.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers. I can confirm, but
I agree. But some reason that name hits a bell somewhere.
Quite possible. Well, I'm going to give this one a 3.5. It's probably my favorite one on the album, and probably just because it's, as a change, it's something upbeat. It's the first like upbeat song on the whole album, and I love the flute. It just kind of got a good fun atmosphere to it. So, all right. Next track up, One Step Away from Your Arms. This one is written by Brian Cadd, who is an Australian songwriter, keyboardist, and composer, the co-owner and CEO of Streetwise Music Group, and he was a member of The Group, spelled Groop, Axiom, and a band I've heard of but can't tell you anything about them, the Flying Burrito Brothers.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
We've had them on our show for sure a couple times, I think.
Early 70s.
Yeah.
It's proto Eagles, post Buffalo Springfield, Birds type of stuff.
And they came from a family of acrobats. That's why they were called the Flying Burrito Brothers. Yeah.
It's kind of it's a very memorable name. That's why I can remember the name, but I probably heard you guys talking about them. But anyway, here we go. It's called One Step Away from Your Arms.
I thought you were going to say One Step Beyond.
That's madness.
Yeah.
And we're going right back into where we left off before the last song.
It's funny. The writer of this was Cadd.
Yep.
Yeah. So the kids at work, Mark, didn't know who Cadd was from Underdog.
Did they know who Wally Cox was?
I said Cadd. He was the henchman for Simon Bar Sinister.
Yeah, he was a cad. Did it come up because you were talking about like CAD, the program?
No.
Okay.
The Yangwei's Music League that's going on as we speak for the Rampage one. I wanted the theme from Underdog, but I couldn't find a good version on Spotify.
That would have been great.
The hopelessness of no real end, and the days pass by never knowing why. I'm wishing the phone would ring.
So,
Mark, is this a story song?
I feel
I'm kind of like
I don't
it.
know. I'm not paying attention.
Please don't ask again.
Roger told a story of saying kind of like he indicated that, you know, she'd come out of the booth from a take and be like, you know, so how was that, Mr. Producer Man? Like, you know, like, and he was like, get back in there and do it again, you know. You know, try. I'm sure, you know, growing up around the Playboy Mansion from the age of 18, you're just used to being able to get your way with a certain look or whatever. And he was like, nope.
All business.
Someplace far away, I must get away. Making what's us now the past. I could go there alone. My God,
This is kind of Sprechstimme.
help me, I've gotta
Yeah.
be strong.
Yeah.
Hello, yes, it's me. I don't know if I'm free.
Did she say Polonius? It's me?
Please don't ask again.
Hmm.
I don't think so.
$5 word.
I thought it was "Hello, it's me" or something like that.
Yeah, I don't
I
know
gotta
if
look
she
up
would
the
be that
lyrics now.
cerebral.
From your arms, but about a million from your heart. Please don't ask again. Don't make me tear myself apart.
I can't find the lyrics to this song.
From your arms, but about a million from your heart. One step from your
Wait, hear the French horn.
Very Beatles.
It's almost bombastic. Yeah, bombastic, but there's yeah.
It just seems like the it just seems like a little out of place. Like the music's working harder than she is. You know, like the music, bam, 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 and she's like, na, na, na. She's like very weefish sort of sounding.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? That's good. I was trying to figure a way of trying to describe what her voice sounds like. That's actually really good.
What, wayfish?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it has that tone, that quality to it. You know, like she sounds like a baby.
Yeah,
A
just
baby.
not. Yeah, it's just not belting it out there. You know, it's just
No, she's not belting.
put a little more on it. I mean, so this one, it's funny. It's her vocals actually that kind of ruined this one for me. I thought musically it was kind of interesting, like you said, kind of a little bombastic, but yeah, her vocal delivery is just a little bit too soft. So I'm going to give it a 2.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, mega dittos on that. I'll give it a 2.
Mega dittos. Is that something the kids are saying these days?
Definitely not.
No, that's from the 80s or 90s.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that one.
He never listened to El Rushbo.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
People who call in and agree with them, dittos. No, even more than that, mega dittos.
Mega dittos.
Oh, geez.
Which, yeah.
Mega dittos.
I'm gonna have to start using that one.
I remember somebody, was it some comedian or something was making fun of that? It's like mega dildos.
Yeah, you know, Rush was a purveyor in super hip slang. Who knew?
Yeah. All the kids are saying it.
All the kids are emulating Rush. All right, where are we? John.
Me. Well, I'll make it the trifecta and give it a 2.
All right. Quadfecta, our first quad.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
I could have gone higher or lower, but I couldn't pass up that opportunity. Yeah, I really want to find the lyrics or listen to that again because I could have sworn she was singing about Polonius at one point, which just seems really weird.
No, no, I don't think so.
John is adamantly sure. She's
No,
not.
he's like, Nate, whatever one you want it to be, that's what happened. Don't listen again. I won't make you listen again.
Well, that's like all those songs that Mark knows that with all the words like she's got electric boobs and things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it quite very well could be. We've all had songs like that.
Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza. That's my favorite.
The best one ever. Didn't he do a version of it too, like recently or like in the last few years? Like, I thought he did a version of the song. All right. Next one is called Morning, Noon, and Night. This one is written by Chris Sciarrotta, who wrote songs for Wolfman Jack, Kenny Rogers, and the adult actress Marilyn Chambers. And
What?
Quite a resume.
Did she have a singing career too?
Apparently, I don't.
Was she produced by Roger as well?
No, she was actually it was Martin Birch. So we'll still be able to do it next week.
Coverdale wrote her a song.
I bet he did. And then Dick Monda, who wrote songs for Sammy Davis Jr. and Glenn Yarbrough. So, all right, let's cue this one up. Morning, noon, and nighttime. Ooh, a little harpsichord, a little Blackmore's Night going on.
Early morning sunshine brushing soft against my
This sounds like a song from Hair.
wondering what you're doing, thinking what you're gonna wear.
What's that song that they...
Happy kind of sad, I'm on my way to start the day. Morning, noon, and nighttime, I still think of you. Morning, noon, and nighttime, wanna be with you. Morning, noon, and nighttime, you are always on my mind.
This sounds like an advertisement for like
Sipping at my coffee.
international coffee. I'm going to have it morning, noon, and night, or something like that.
Yeah.
Wondering what you're doing, wondering why you went away.
The beginning of it reminded me of
Happy kind of sad.
Good Morning Starshine from Hair.
Oh, okay. I know what
Like,
you're talking about.
glitty, glubby, glooby, glitty, glubby, glooby, that whole part.
The harpsichord part has a Partridge Family vibe.
Oh, there you go.
Did-
Was there a slide guitar in the
Yep.
Partridge Family, John?
No, not that I remember. But there was this harpsichord type stuff.
You've seen that those Brady Bunch movies they made in the what were they, the 90s?
I saw the
Yeah.
Brady Girls Got Married like 100 times. I remember when it like came out, and then
Oh.
they had a Christmas special.
That
It
was
a little
early
weird
80s,
'cause,
I think.
Mike Brady had the mustache in the 80s.
Oh yeah,
It was just kind of
Yeah.
weird.
yeah. I meant the parody movies they made with
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Shelley Long.
Paul. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. The one that had what Ben Stiller's wife
yeah.
was
'cause-
Marsha.
Yeah, because there was a point where some guy had some mushrooms to get high, and then Alice cooked with them, and they started tripping, and that Good Morning Sunshine song was playing. So that made me think of that.
I've
The
never
guy's like,
seen that
I'm
one.
tripping with the Brady's, and it has no effect on Alice at all. Those are great. Those are great movies,
So
actually.
is the implication that Alice was always tripping balls
Yeah.
on mushrooms? one of you guys sent it out the other day, the ages of all the people in the shows, and just knowing that I'm older than Alice.
Oh my God. I mean,
Really
even now I
stings.
watch like clips of it and everything, and they show her, and it's just like, she's still like, I still feel like she was like 65 in those. She seems like older than, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I'm like, I'm older than
Thought she was-
Alice. I think I'm the same age as Archie, Archie Bunker.
and
And isn't
Edith.
wasn't Tony Soprano was like 38 in the first season of The
Yep.
Sopranos.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm about to turn Jessica Fletcher in another month, and then I'm not too far away from the Golden Girls ages.
I think you're already past the Golden Girls. I think Rue McClanahan was 50 in the first.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I was talking about B and Betty White.
Yeah, they were about like 10 years older than her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That song we just listened to, morning, noon, and nighttime.
Who even remembers?
Yeah. I'll give it a 2. It was at least a little bit upbeat, but yeah, just kind of along the same lines of most of the songs on the album.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2 also. It's I'm liking the music and the arrangements. I really am. And it's we need the gusto, you know.
Yeah.
Someone else and you know, I was trying to think of other you know, starlets or people that knew how to sing, and you know, I said Liza Minnelli, you know, earlier. You know, there had to be someone else from Hollywood or the Playboy Mansion that could sing a little better. I don't know anything about that other than her and Hugh Hefner at the time. You know, she was the Pamela Anderson. Did she ever put a record out, Pamela Anderson?
No, I don't think so.
No. So, I mean, that's about it, right?
Cheryl Ladd, I think, put
She
out a
may.
country album.
Oh yeah, but Cheryl Ladd wasn't part of the Playboy
No.
infrastructure.
The structure.
The massive.
You're making it sound a lot more complex than it really is.
We got to rebuild that infrastructure.
It's infrastructure week at the Playboy Mansion.
It's shovel ready.
The grotto is shovel. Oh boy.
Well, speaking of which, Barbi Benton, I was reading, she was the one that I think found the Playboy Mansion or urged Hefner to buy it.
Yeah, I think you're
Yeah.
right. I think I read that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
driving around with a probably underage at that point. Barbi Benton. Hey, what should we? Hey, sweetheart, what mansion should we buy? How about
Yeah.
that one? Okay.
Hey, sweetheart, what are you, bogey?
I don't know.
Hey,
What
sweetheart.
what does Hugh say? What does the Hef say to a 17-year-old he's driving around with? looking
Probably
for a
that.
mansion
Hey,
with?
sweetheart.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's a big movie buff, so he might. Yeah. What do you think, John?
2. Next. Is this over? Like,
It's
This
getting
is
there,
the
it's
this is the
getting there.
night part of morning, noon, and night, John.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
my goodness, this is
I don't-
like.
I don't think I've ever seen John less enthusiastic.
I'm just not. I'm not really into it at all. It's not interesting.
You can't tell.
Wait for the next Blackmore's night to queue up.
You know what? Why don't we just record that episode right after this one so we can perk John back up? Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2 as well. Another quadfecta. Yeah, just kind of more of the same. Like the songs on this side of the album are slightly longer. I mean, you're only talking like 3.5, 3:45 or whatever. But you know, when you look at a song like "Good Morning Sunshine from Here," it's 2.5 minutes, and a lot of fun stuff happens in that time. And this is just kind of more low key, slow pace, down tempo, kind of unexcited vocally. So
Is this
that's where I'm going with this one.
the Jeb Bush record? Low energy.
Low energy. Please clap. All right. So the second to last track, Close Your Eyes, written by Bob Young, who was noted as the unofficial fifth member of Status Quo. He got to know Mickey Moody when Snafu was opening for Status Quo, and then worked with Moody and Young before Mick Moody left to join Whitesnake. So it's kind of this might have been how they hooked up, or they kind of know each other from the touring days, and they worked together again. So this is written by Bob Young and Mick Moody. So this is basically a Whitesnake song.
All right.
Your eyes.
So, John, this is not a command. Keep those eyes open.
It's more of like a call to action.
We're gonna have to Clockwork Orange him.
I have to get the pair of those glasses with the eyes on it, and I'll just be like this. I'll be
Or
like,
like that the girl in Indiana Jones that paints the his eyes on her eyelids.
yeah.
Oh no, she says love you. It says love you on her eyelids.
All right, Nate, I don't get that reference to A Clockwork Orange. I never saw it.
I didn't either.
Wow.
I've just seen the poster.
Yeah, it's like Stanley Kubrick. It's a very, very weird film. I saw it once, and I'm like, okay, done.
Isn't that the poster with like the spikes holding open the eyes?
Yeah. Trying to reform a violent criminal, and they make him watch all this stuff.
Or listen to this.
Yeah.
Is this like Sleeper?
No,
you know, with Richard Nixon? Yes, that was torture in the 70s.
Yeah. Well, yeah, remember they give him the Playboy centerfold too, Woody Allen, and he's like, I'll take it and study it and give you a full report.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, the women were made out of foam rubber.
Let's hear it, Nate. What would he say?
Oh, jeez. I'm so neurotic. I remember when I was a kid watching that movie, and the part where he pushes the Volkswagen out of the cave, and it falls into the lake, and it's like upside down. It's like about 3 inches of water. To try to hide the evidence.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, I can rate this already.
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of done with this one.
Yeah, all right.
This is where you take the record and go shit and rip it off.
Yeah, okay. What, Mark, what's your ranking for this?
I'm going up 0.5 on this one.
0.5?
Yeah.
Oh!
This is unlistenable.
This is, yeah.
All right, I'm going to 1.
All right. John?
Oh, man. I thought I was going to be the mean one here, but yeah, like, 1. I can't stand it.
I can't stand it.
Can't stand
Roger,
Costanza.
you're losing all your
Can't
you're
stand
losing all your credibility.
I've got
Roger.
to close my eyes and hope that this will be over soon.
I thought I was.
Oh, there we go.
I thought I was going to be the low man with the 1.5, but apparently I ranked it highest. All right. Well, good news, guys. There's better days ahead.
Because this is the last song.
This is the last track, written by Carol Bayer Sager.
Oh wow,
big songwriter,
big
huge.
songwriter.
You know what she wrote, of course.
All those Aerosmith songs.
A Groovy Kind of Love.
Mm-hmm.
By this point, and Melissa Manchester, songwriting partner.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So,
she wrote a lot of stuff. Yeah.
So let's see if this is one of their finest pieces. Better Days. It goes right into the slide.
It started off, I was like, oh, maybe this is a little promising.
Yeah, maybe it's something a
it's
little
just
different. Nope.
Oh, it's just that fucking country steel guitar. just ruins everything.
You don't like
I'm
it
with
in
you.
any
It's like-
context?
No, it's just nails on a chalkboard. It's just like, here, let's just ruin this song.
Yeah. In
know,
fact,
it's just-
the last song, the steel guitar, was what dropped it a half a point for me from a 1
I
down
mean-
to a 0.5.
I mean, it's so milk toast.
Yeah.
Now I know there'll be something.
You know, I mean, it's like it doesn't elevate the song. It just makes it more like it just makes it more like kind of forgettable. It just mushes everything together, makes everything sound the same.
We have made it through a long, lonely night. Better days
That was a nice little drum fill there.
on our
Nate's
the
trying to
ba-
find things to compliment.
I'm working hard.
The bass isn't bad.
we're doing
Yeah, but it was that I think "Isn't It Always Love?" That bass line was incredible. Ooh,
it black
I like that little part.
Ooh, that's a nice little bridge.
through the darkness and the light.
That makes it a 5, right, Nate?
Oh, easily.
When it all
That and the boom 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 on the drums is just unbelievable.
This has such a bad Carpenters vibe. If the
Yeah.
Carpenters sucked, this is what they would do.
I don't know. I have a feeling that this album is going to be keeping Warhorse company on the spreadsheet.
I think he's gonna be holding up Warhorse at this point.
Wow, this is totally out of our wheelhouse, boys. We're
Yeah.
disco boys.
Yeah, we're 70s rock disco guys, so maybe not the best people to judge this album.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose all of our Scandinavian patrons after this week.
Yeah.
How dare you?
It makes me wish that we had numerical ratings on the Ethel Merman album and the Charo album, Pete, just to see that both of those would have been well above this one.
Yeah.
I think Ethel would have blown this one out of the water.
Well, she was belting it out,
Exactly.
which is what this needs.
Remember that video with her and Judy
Belted
Garland and Barbara?
Barbara Streisand.
Yeah, she's like, there aren't many of us belters left. That's right.
Just you, me, and Bobby Benton.
So, you know who else was in that McLeod was Lorna Luft.
Ah. You guys know who she is. We've
Yes, I know
discussed this before.
I know the name. Trying to think. She was that's is she like Liza Minnelli's sister or something?
Half sister.
Half sister. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Judy Garland was probably married a few
Right.
times, right?
Yeah. And Gail and I saw Lorna Luft in a play at the Bushnell. I think, forget if it was Guys and Dolls or something like that.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Judy Garland had 5 husbands and 3 children. All right.
All right.
So there we go. What are we gonna rank? Better
So-
Days. Mark.
This is a solid 1.5 for me.
A solid 1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with Mark, 1.5.
I'm
And-
with these knuckleheads.
And I am too. Quadfecta of 1.
Ah.
1.5, and the 0.5 is for that it was the end.
I thought it was the whole one.
giving
was
it
that
the-
was the end.
It gets points for being the last track.
For signifying the album is that we don't have to listen any more of it.
Remember that the Karnak the Magnificent? I hold in my hand the last envelope, and the crowd would cheer. Yeah.
Oh man, what a snoozer!
It was
This is a slog.
A slog
Yeah.
for
Oof.
sure.
Jinx. Yep.
All right. While John fumbles with the spreadsheets, I will thank our last level of patrons before we wrap this bad boy up. And that is, of course, our foundation level patrons coming in at the £3.50 deep purple New York tier. We have Lord Longford. At the £3 aromatic feed tier, Simon Ford and Richard Brees. At the $3.33 halfway to evil tier, we have Stephen Sharp and Duncan Leask.
Smoke on the water, fire in the sky.
At the $3 Nobody's Perfect tier, here in studio with us, well, over the line, Peter Gardeau. Ian DeRosier. Also with us, Mark Roback. Stuart McCord. Ivan Fjellbu. Runar Simonsen. Ruinous Inadequacies, Corey Morissette, Ashley. Rose. Weston Super Mayor Pilgrim, Joe Dopefish Sigler. At the $1.71 I Want My Own tier, we have
Rich, Youngwy, Shayla.
I know who Rich is. Rich is my favorite.
at the 10 kroner tier, Karsten Lau.
Cold, hard Danish kroner.
At the, we're gonna have to have good parenthetical here. At the who's leaking beyond morning, noon, and night? Leaky Mausoleum. Stephen Somerville, the Concerto 1999 fanatic. Hank the Tank. Private Eyes. Ashen Lionel.
Blackmore Tights.
Steve Down to Earth Kohler. Zwapper the Electric Alchemist. Anders Engstrom. ICDC. Durple Purple. Purple Swede.
Swede.
David Haddam. Oh, then we've got another one.
I said, Graham, you know, our audience expects you to be a bit more dirty.
Disco pants and haircuts, yeah.
I'm just going to put my guitar across his head.
And Eddie Lyon.
Homosexual.
Thank you so much for all of you for your generous support of the Deep Purple podcast. All right. And with that, you know what time it is.
Well, John's busting out the spreadsheets, and he's fumbling with the tabs. Oops, he sorted it the wrong way. Now he can't tell what is bad.
All right, John, the suspense is killing me. Where does Barbi Benton, Ain't That Just the Way, rank in our overall album rankings?
Oh, well, it's killing me too because it just popped up. I was going to tell you I couldn't see any of the ratings, but now I can. So, all right, give me a second here. Oof. Wow. 4.27. It is dead last.
Oh,
Barbie. Oh.
Well, you're right. It is holding up. It's holding up episode 6, War Horse, yeah. Debut Trapeze. Yikes.
My goodness.
That is the lowest rating here. Now let me see.
Trying to figure out our
Mark and Pete's ratings here are not coming in.
Yeah, I don't know why they're not coming in. Oh my God, I must have overmoused when I did this.
Uh-oh.
Are they in the calculation? Because it could be even lower.
I don't know if you can get any lower.
Yeah,
I think I know what I did wrong.
All right. Well, that was me and Nate's rating here, but we can get there we go. Okay. Now we're all in here. So our combined, all of our combined rating, right, is 6.09. And let's see, that would be
I'm trying to find where we had another second guest here. I think the only other one we've had with two
and
guests
that's
has
the
been
yeah,
Blackmore's Night.
that's the lowest combined rating too with guests.
Yeah, well, it would have to be.
Mm.
I think even if you add in their scores, it's still one of our lowest rank albums.
Yes, indeed. Yes. It's well, yeah, the combined. Yeah, well, that is it because 6.09 with their scores. So, and that's the the lowest ratings with guests. So,
Oof.
yeah, I mean, you know what? It's really just at the heart of it. It's like it's just like an easy listening album. It's very like and very derivative. So, in a lot of ways, and just kind of unremarkable. I mean, there were some remarkable people involved, but I mean, even even Roger and Coverdale couldn't save this.
No.
And I think they contributed to the best track. And I mean, I don't think I was biased on that one necessarily, that saying it was the best track on the album. I think it just stood out for sure. But as Pete said, this is outside all our wheelhouse, though. That's why in the beginning it was kind of like, well, how do we rate this?
Right.
Am I rating it against other country songs, or am I just going to rate it overall? And like we do on our show, it's like, well, some stuff is just it's not your thing, and this isn't. But I think our criticisms were kind of correct, though. Her vocals, just needed a little more punch to them, a little bit. Maybe it's a confidence thing or whatever, but she's not a bad singer, like you were saying, Nate. She hits the notes and stuff, but it's just kind of it just sinks back into the rest of the songs.
Yep. Yeah, and I think I would say, looking at this album, it was worth every bit of the €2 I paid for. I don't know if it was worth the shipping.
Yeah, I love the cover. I mean,
That's great album artwork. Sure.
I'm the first to confess that, in that time, it's like I was a fan of her. Like I said, the Love Boat came on. It's like, oh, she's on this episode. It's like, I think I'll watch it a little longer.
There you go. But but if it came to if the Love Boat was a radio show, maybe not.
No.
Yeah. So in that McLeod, she actually did some other songs. She did two Elton John songs. She did Philadelphia Freedom.
Really?
And little bits. If you watch the trailer of that, and there were other things, and I wouldn't call her the greatest actress since give me
Meryl
someone.
Streep. Meryl Streep.
Not the next Glenn Close.
But it was a fun episode if you're into 70s procedurals, and also the cast of that was top-notch Universal Studios from TV. It was a lot of fun. But I'm not a country fan. Like Mark said, I'd liked Hee Haw. They'd say they'd come out of the
cornfield.
Cornfield.
Yeah, with the jokes and everything. Yeah.
The cornfield. It looked like real corn, but a fake sky.
Yeah.
It's like a blue room with some real corn in it.
But God bless her for doing this stuff and being who she is, and she's part of our culture.
Yeah, and Nate, I don't know if you have it written down there, but the album and the single did really well. I mean, it wasn't just like, oh, it's kind of a minor hit over there in
hit number one on a lot of the charts. Sweden and Finland, I think, and then in Norway it was, Runar Simonsen, Newt, Ivan. They're all have to chime in and let us know if they grew up with this album. If they,
Yeah.
Was it something that they had around, or was in their friends' collections, or what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like, I hope we're not losing all of our Norwegian patrons now.
Oh man.
Can't
Yeah,
believe it.
we weren't easy on this album, I'll tell you
No,
that.
not exactly. But I would say despite the, I did like the Coverdale song, but my favorite, I think, was, even though I think I ranked them the same, my favorite was that Isn't It Always Love? Just, I wish there could have been a little more diversity of,
Oh, the jazz flute song. Yeah.
some upbeat
Yeah.
tracks, and they had a great bass line. It was kind of bopped along nice. I could see Gardot bobbing his head, and that wasn't going on through the rest of the album. So
Yeah. I think I was a little harsh on the because the title track was the first track on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, having not heard the rest of it, it's kind of like, well, okay, I didn't like that very much, but given the rest of it, that was a better song than I think some of the other ones I rated the same. But yeah. So
anyway, that's ain't that just the way that that the episode goes. It's exciting though, after almost 300 episodes, to have a new bottom album.
broke the floor.
like how often with broke the glass floor. How many times can we possibly top the top or bottom the bottom on this? With all the albums that we've covered so far, and who knows when the next time will be?
Yeah.
Blackmore Side's coming up again.
Do you know?
Surfers.
Yeah, the next Butthole Surfers album, you won't even see it on the spreadsheet.
Do you know offhand how many albums, non-Deep Purple family albums that Roger Glover produced?
Quite a few. He did like Nazareth. He did Rory Gallagher. He did what am I said Nazareth already. Well, what other stuff did he do?
Rainbow.
Yeah, but that would be the family though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, would Michael Shankar count?
Oh yeah. Because that's like far enough, I guess, outside of the.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting if you do more episodes in the future of Roger Glover produced, how those albums rank too, just against each other. He
also did Judas Priest, one or two albums, right? I'm trying to think.
Actually, he did Judas Priest. Sin After Sin, I think.
Yeah.
Probably quite a bit of a different album than this one.
A little bit.
Full of steel
Actually,
guitar.
and they were like around the same year too, I think.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, what year was that? Let me see.
I think it was 77.
That was
right?
a year before 77, yeah. Wow. Oh boy. Well, there you go, folks. That's Barbi Benton. Whoever thought we'd get to this album? Whoever thought it would be the bottom of the spreadsheet? See how long it can. I feel like I should make a note on the spreadsheet of like the date that we actually did it, so we can see like how long it's going to hold the title for.
It'll be a rough one. Like John says, Roger Glover goes and does a Butthole Surfers LP.
Oh boy. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And Mark and Pete, where can the folks find you, fine gentlemen?
You want to go ahead, Pete? I'll go. So you can find us on the Apple Podcasts. We're the 70s Weekly Countdown with Mark and Pete. A name that's almost as imaginative as you guys.
That's how you're a true spinoff.
Yeah. I was going to say, are we, do we call these episodes like the crossover episodes between the two shows?
I guess so. Yeah, it's like a very special.
Yeah, and we're on all the streaming thingies.
Yeah, Spotify. You can find us, and on the X machine, we're at 70 Weekly or at 70s Weekly, and post some stuff up there, and And we hope to have you guys on another episode because it's a lot of fun when we have you guys on.
Oh yes.
Always have a good
Maybe
time.
Maybe we can find another Casey Kasem Christmas episode to do.
Yeah, definitely let's liven it up the next time we all get together. Oof.
I tell you that top 40 disco songs or whatever.
Oh, that was fun.
That was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't know what episode that was, but that was great.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
So check out some of their episodes if you wanna hear me and John. If you just don't get enough of us for a couple hours a week, you can check us for a couple more hours by listening to one of our guest appearances on the 70s Weekly. They pick a random week in the 70s and go down the whole top 40 countdown. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
So if you had the exact date that this was released, I could have given you the gas price.
Yes.
And what I was doing that
and how
week.
much your dad weighed.
That's right.
And we had Nate just as a write-in guest with his ratings on our episode. What that was episode 80 or 81? Yeah, and that was good. So we ought to have John at some point if we can get him to do that. But
I listened to the countdown, and then I voice memoed my rankings at my notes app on my phone. So it was a lot of confusing autocorrect issues, but sent them in. It was a lot of fun. So
yeah.
Well, thanks, Nate, for doing that, and thanks for having us, fellas.
Yeah, thank you.
Anytime.
Always a pleasure. And folks, we will catch up with you next week. And until then, ain't that just the way? Close your eyes, go to sleep, morning, noon, and night.
Better days.
See you later. There's better days ahead.
Better days.
For our rankings.
And remember to keep your podcast machine right where it's tuned.
Absolutely. Good night, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Deep Purple Podcast. If you like what you hear and would like more episodes in the future, please donate on Patreon to support the show. You can also leave us a review in Apple Podcasts to help new people discover the show. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for show updates. See deeppurplepodcast.com for more details. Thank you for listening.